This is Stu Ellis reporting on behalf of the Illinois Soybean Association Checkoff Program. It'll be a long way off, but Don Garrels of Pioneer says soybean growers will have new herbicide technology to anticipate.
Really what we've been looking at with BASF is trying to secure soybean traits into the future, and we're not just looking at the rest of this decade, but really the next couple decades, and taking their experience and expertise and matching that up with ours, and really building off of what farmers are wanting today with Enlist E3, and really building trait packages moving forward that build off that success today.
Okay, and what does all that include?
Yeah, so a couple months ago, we already announced our first collaboration between MS Technologies, Corteva, and BASF to bring nematode-resistant soy with Enlist E3 later this decade. So we've heard a lot about soybean cyst nematode and what farmers are trying to work through, battling resistance there. That's going to be a new tool that we can stack with Enlist E3 later this decade. 3 companies working together on that. And then what we announced just here at Farm Progress Show was the next trait coming early next decade. So what this will look like is things that we're used to today in terms of 2,4-D, glyphosate, glufosinate, but also stacking it with the next generation PPO that BASF is working on the chemistry for. So this will give us a chance to control things like PPO-resistant weeds today will be controlled by this new PPO chemistry, but we'll also have the flexibility of the other modes of action that we're currently using. And then we've also talked about what's coming after that. And the next one, which now we're getting out to the 2040s at this point, so a little ways out there, but it's good to know we're working on it, is bringing new, novel mode of action that isn't used in agriculture today into the soybean world. Pretty broad spectrum that we like to look at when we're trying to come up with solutions. So that's where the multiple modes of action comes into play. But when we've been running into issues, think about anything that's PPO resistant water hemp, PPO resistant name your grass. This would be something that would control that. So we've seen it the last several years. BASF's been working on it for a while. It works really well when we've been seeing it in person here in Iowa. I think it'll translate really well across the Midwest. If there's a way that we can work together and combine resources or take expertise from a couple different companies and bring it together, that's what we're doing. And it's a long-term partnership. You know, we're talking about stuff that's going to happen in the 2020s through the 2040s. So it's a real commitment from BASF and Corteva. It'll take a while. There's the development, and then there's always the regulatory piece that we'll need to work through on everything. So, we're engaging, and that's part of the reason we make the announcements here is we can engage with some of the government stakeholders, too, to help us out on the regulatory front because we want to bring the solutions as quick as we can. It just will take time to do some of that development.
That's your soybean update. I'm Stu Ellis. To learn more about the Illinois Soybean Association and the checkoff that pays off, go to ilsoy.org.